Hi, I wrote a thing. I'm going to read it to you. Now, this starts with a little bit of a tangent, but just follow me, okay? So I was on a subreddit dedicated to the video game series The Elder Scrolls. It's a fantasy series, takes place on a continent shared by a bunch of different races of people: lizard folk, cat folk, multiple races of elves and humans. The third game takes place in a country called Morrowind, in which the Dunmer, the Dark Elves, are the native inhabitant majority. Um, the country's politically controlled by five noble houses who have varying relationships with the encroaching foreign empire of Cyrodiil. Um, Part of the economy of this land and one of the sources of conflict among the houses is the practice of slavery in Morrowind. The traditional houses often have Argonian and Khajiit, which are the lizard people and the cat people, as slaves, as servants who perform household or farm labor. The more liberal houses, who are seeking allyship with the empire, under which slavery is banned, have opposed slavery, and there's a lot of debate in the world of the game. Um, Within the universe, the fifth game takes place in the country of Skyrim, which is inhabited by Nords, based on like Nordic people, who have a long history of bloody war against the invading High Elves, the Altmer, who are now invading Skyrim once again through a treaty with the Empire, who has control over Skyrim. This encroachment sparks a civil war, and there are rally cries of Skyrim belongs to the Nords, etc. So, on these online pages dedicated to the game, it's not uncommon that people will RP and take positions of various conflicts, arguing the Civil War, arguing things in the context of the games, like in RP. Something that's pretty common to see is people referring to Argonians and Khajiits, the lizard people and the cat people, as farm tools, in reference to their position as slaves in Morrowind. It's sort of like the kind of racism that exists in the game. Um, and I just noticed that some people will just be racist in RP at every opportunity. And something that felt kind of off about it for me for a while. And so I made a comment at one point. I said that sometimes I kind of feel like the people spouting racist rhetoric in these pages all the time would be openly racist IRL if it wasn't for social consequences. And I stand by this opinion because fundamentally in RP you get to choose who you are with no real consequences, and if you're consistently choosing to be super racist, then, you know, if you were in a real life position where you had no consequences, I bet you would do the same. Um, but the comment I received in response to it was interesting. It opened my eyes to a whole new world, and I just had to explore the implications. This was the response. It said, feels like you're trying to be offended about people making jokes about a fictional non-human species. Now, why I found this interesting was because I didn't say I was offended. I didn't express that I had taken offense to the fictional racism. I didn't take a stance on it. I just said that if you're consistently being racist in RP, you would probably be racist IRL if you had the opportunity. That's all I said. It's just an observation. And I was accused of being offended. And so I thought about this phrase that people say, why is everyone so easily offended nowadays? I don't think they are. I don't think people are super easily offended nowadays. I think that branding people as offended is just a strategy to deflect from your own responsibility for your behavior. I just said, like, if you love being racist in RP, you would probably be racist in real life if it was more acceptable. And someone said I was offended. So, what do you think the first thing I assume about that person is? Like, how could I not? How could I not just assume that that person is defensive because they know I'm right? It's because I didn't think the joke was funny. They made shitty jokes, shitty fantasy racism jokes, and I'm supposed to laugh every single fucking time. And if I don't, then I'm offended, and I'm too easily offended, and everybody's so easily offended nowadays. Maybe your jokes aren't good. Maybe your jokes aren't that good or creative. Like, people make racist jokes because they're trying to be funny. People have a poor, like, those people often have a poor grasp of the consequences of doing so, or they wouldn't do it. Like, this is something that, like, edgy white preteens will usually figure out in middle or high school. You know, you get to a phase where saying bad words is cool or whatever, and you learn the worst word you can or whatever. But then once you start to, you know, recognize some like real life consequences of that, you're like, oh shit, this isn't a fucking game. Like doing so in a professional setting, being racist in a professional setting could get you fired if your workplace abides by labor laws. Well, current labor laws as of me recording this. Doing so in a diverse setting will result in people assuming that you're racist due to you saying racist things, and choosing not to associate with you. Thank you.